Hi! Hello! Today, following on my previous review of the Sam Studio Glow Foundation, I brought with me the Sam Studio Foundation. So, let's get started right away. Unlike the Glow Foundation in my previous video, I have with me the 10ml size bottle. It's really cool that you can choose according to the desired capacity and size you want. Like the Glow Foundation, the shades are released in the same 4 shades, 2 cool tones and 2 neutral tones. These foundations also come in the same glass container design with the same studio imprint and pump dispenser but with a grayer color cap. C19, C21, N21, N23. I've applied each shade all on one cheek to check them out, and since the shades are very similar to the shades of the Glow Foundation, I think it's best to select and use the same shades. These foundations have a thinly coated formulation that has a cover effect to survive a zoom of any degree, so it'll cover irregularities such as skin blemishes and fine wrinkles. With the use of the methylene methacrylate cross polymer, which is also called multi-clear blur powder, it covers blemishes and dullness, providing the skin with a subtle glow that creates a blurring effect to create clean and smooth skin texture. Through their 24-hour continuous coverage clinical trial, it's said to keep the skin clean and clear all day long with their quick-fitting texture that instantly adheres as soon as they're applied. C19 is the shade number 19 in a cool tone. Rather than being just pink, it has a neutral tone mixed with a bit of pink, and since it brightens the skin, I think it'll be great for people who usually uses pink-based products or the shade number 19. C21 is a number 21 shade in a cool tone. Since the tone borders between neutral and pink, I think it'll be a great shade for people who usually uses number 21 or a bright number 22. N21 is a neutral number 21 shade. This shade looks very natural with my skin tone, so I think it's a bit darker than the normal number 21. So I believe it'll be great for people who usually use the shade number 22 or a bright number 23. N23 is a neutral number 23 shade. This is a shade that appears to have a reddish-orange base and looks dark and yellowish on my face. I think this will be great for people who usually has healthy-looking tan skin or slightly dark number 23 shade. When placing my phone against my cheek to perform a smear test, since it has a very thin adhesion, the smearing was rather minimal, and when looking at my cheek, I could barely see any marks. Now, since I've had to wear masks all the time lately, I got curious how it'll smear when wearing a mask, so I tried a mask test as well. Being that the foundation did transfer onto the mask, when looking at my face, I didn't notice any signs of the foundation being removed or coming off. I also went ahead and tested its waterproof capability, and I was happy to see that it stayed on like when I had first applied it, even when I sprayed it and wiped the water off. Since the shades are very similar with the Glow Foundation, I just gave a brief explanation of the shades, and as for the shade that fits my skin tone perfectly, it was N21. Recently, my skin has been getting reddish and a lot of skin troubles tend to be appearing here and there, so I have become increasingly more concerned with coverage than usual. When looking at the coverage, I found that it didn't seem to have a high enough coverage to completely cover acne scars, so if you're looking for better coverage, I think it will be best to apply it in layers thinly. And since these foundations are a bit fast when it comes to fixing, I personally found that applying it on with a puff or sponge to be faster and more comfortable than with a brush. Since it's a very thin foundation, I didn't feel any thickness even when applied with a puff or sponge. The finish itself wasn't too matte and had a slight glow, so I felt that it made my skin look smoother. Also, in the order to show you how long it lasted, I filmed myself throughout the day without fixing my base makeup at all. When I first applied this foundation, it was around 8 p.m. and since I filmed it as soon as I applied on the foundation, it made my skin look good. After about 2 hours, oil started coming out of my skin, so my skin began to look a bit glowy compared when I first applied it on. The coverage was unaffected and there wasn't any buildup around my nose. And after about 2 more hours, although my skin looked even more glowy due to the oil coming from my skin, I didn't see any darkening or reduction in coverage. On the other hand, it seemed to harmonize with my natural skin and I didn't see any buildup around my nose. So like this was a review of the Sam Studio Foundation, and before I end this video, let me do a short comparison between this and the Glow Foundation. Since I felt that the Glow Foundation and Studio Foundation has the same shade, I applied the same shade on the other side of my face. While the right side appears semi-matte, the left side glowed. The only difference between the two appears to be glow because the tones are the same. Here, I've applied all the shades on my arm to show you all the shades. Since all the shades have the same tone, if you want glowy finish, I'll recommend the Glow Foundation, whereas if you're looking for a semi-matte finish, I recommend the Studio Foundation. Lastly, if you want to try out both of them, I think it'd be best to choose the same shades. So this was a review of all the shades of the Sam Studio Foundation. Thank you for watching my video today. Don't forget to subscribe, press the like buttons, and please leave some comments for me. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!